Hey guys, what's going on? It's time for 30 books in 30 weeks, and I'm absolutely discombobulated. I don't know why I don't get my life together before I get on here. I swear I'll be thinking I think that I have it all together when I get on, and then for whatever reason, by the time the camera actually lights up, what's going on, Ed? By the time the camera actually takes off, then I'm like all over the place again. Jonathan, Helen, what's going on, you guys? What's today? Tonight's Sunday, so today's our wrap up for our 30 books in 30 weeks for this week, week 16. So we're over halfway through the 30 weeks, and this week we've been focusing on Healing by Design. It's the companion thought guide to my book Love Miscarriage. These two go together. Boom, boom, boom. These are books, what are they? 5 and 6, I think. Yeah, and then 7 and 8 are, one's a training book and one is Surviving the Rain to Find the Rainbow. Wow, 8 books in. Go figure. I can't even believe it. It doesn't seem like I've written 8 books. That's crazy. Anyway, enough of that. That's not what we're here for. We're here to talk about Healing by Design and 30 books in 30 weeks. Anthony, how are you? Portia, what's going on? Make sure y'all invite some people in. Tonight we're going to talk about why healing has to be by design. Like, you can't leave it up to the willy-nilly. You can't be frivolous about it. And what that means and why. So for those of you who might be coming in for the very first time, you don't know me, don't know what I'm about, what I do, who I am. My name is Marcy Batiste. I'm America's #1 reality-based success and recovery trainer. I'm a public speaker. I'm an author. So sold out to my happiness, it ain't even funny. I live life on Mars. My world, my life, my rules is kind of my life motto, so to speak. And the thing that really moves me is to be able to work with other women to help them discover and embrace their star power so that they can reclaim their time, reclaim a lot of things that the world has taken away with all the crap that we've all been through. And so the things that left them emotionally bankrupt, the things that have left them feeling mentally drained and spiritually unaligned, and all those kinds of things, to bring all that stuff back into harmony and create a life that you really truly love to live. And it's such an amazing feeling. I just think that everybody should be able to experience what that feels like. And so that's what excites me, is to be able to be a conduit for that and share the tools and the strategies to help other women be able to do those things. So this week, Healing by Design, the wrap up. So it's Companion Thought Guide for Love Miscarriage. I shared that with you all. And when I talk about, I named the book Healing by Design because it is the manual that walks you through the thought process, right? So it takes you through Jenna's journal, and it takes you through what that healing process looked like for her. And then it forces the reader to think, if I were walking in Jenna's shoes, if this situation had happened to me, how would I have handled it differently? And being able to recognize the missteps along the way. And so what I discovered, working with a lot of women especially, lots of men too, this is not a woman issue, is that for most people, it's easier to see when somebody else missteps than when we misstep ourselves. And so the idea and the concept behind, hey Annie, the concept behind this is to be able to focus on Jenna and Tony for a while, so that you don't have to focus on Marcy and whoever, right? You can focus on their problems and their issues, and you can think about how you would handle them, but in the back of your subconscious mind, it's still going to force you to think like, if I were in that situation, how would I handle it? What would I do? Would I do it differently? And then the idea then is to impart on the reader to begin to employ some of these practices. And one of the things I asked early on in the book was, how do you define love? Because most people never ever define it. And if you can't define it, how do you ever expect to manifest that into your life? How do you expect to stop making the same mistakes and the bad relationship choices that you've made in the past, if you don't ever find another way to define what love means for you, and then to be able to have that communication with someone else. And so I named the book Healing by Design for the fact that you have to be strategic about your healing. You have to acknowledge, like, I done messed up. I done messed some stuff up. I'm kind of messed up. My life is kind of messed up. It might be my career is messed up. My kids might be messed up. It's a whole lot of stuff. Hey sis, thank you. Love you. It's a whole lot of stuff that we have to own. But in order to own it and begin to process and begin to move through it, you have to be strategic about it. You can't allow and just, think. A lot of people think, well, oh, I've accepted it, I've moved on. Well, it's not as simple as just moving on. You have to deal with it. You have to process the information. You have to be strategic about it. You have to design your healing program. And so that's what, even in Raising the Bar, my laser focused coaching, that's what we concentrate so much on, is how do we change those habits? How do we alter the behaviors? How do we employ some certain strategies that are going to guarantee that we're successful, that are going to give us the best opportunity to get those results? When I talk about optimizing your personal and professional investments, how are you investing your emotion? How are you investing your energy? Who are you investing time with? A lot of times we're not strategic about that. And you have to be strategic, and you have to bring that all in-house. You have to bring it all under one roof. And you got to say, you know what? This is where I'm going. This is my path. This is my target. This is my focus. And you know what? Susie over here, she's not going where I'm going. She can't come along. And it doesn't mean that you have to, doesn't necessarily mean that you have to not be friends with that individual anymore. It just means you have to be aware that they're not going where you're going. And, so if you had a certain thing in common, like a certain thing that you like to do, go out or whatever, and you're going to change that, you alter that dynamic of that friendship or that relationship, understanding that you have to be strategic about that. And you have to consciously tell yourself, this is a strategic choice I'm making. I'm not being willy-nilly about this. I am specifically designing my healing journey. I'm designing my path for success. I'm creating my own blueprint for what my healing is going to look like, what my success is going to look like. We use these same concepts in business building and branding. What do I want it to look like? What do I want to communicate to my star client? What's that conversation look like? What words do I use? What emotions am I trying to tap into? You have to be that strategic with your healing and with your success journey as well. So that's why we named the book Healing by Design. Because you have to have a strategy. You have to think it out. Create yourself a success manual. Create yourself a healing manual. It's a good start. Anyway, so that's it for this week. We'll be back tomorrow night with next week's book for week 17 of our 30 books in 30 weeks. That's it for me tonight, you guys. As always, thanks for living life on Mars, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Have a great night.